Hindustan Zinc, then, operational growth has been at a record high. Where is the company headed in FY24? Arun Misra, the CEO of Hindustan Zinc, here to answer those questions. Thank you so much for taking time out and joining in. Now, let's start off by the kind of outlook that you've guided for, because you said that there's going to be a decline in the cost of production for the zinc business in FY24 versus what we've seen last year. What are the factors that can expect to drive this decline in the cost of production, and where do you see your margins headed in light of that?
So if you look at our expectation of zinc LME to be around $3,000 to $3,100 per ton. But current rates, the way it is going, looks like there will be a shortfall of $200 per ton. So we have to now make that up in the margin. So if I look at zinc COP this year, about $1,257 per ton. So from that, we are going down to 1,175. Even if I do 1,150, then also it is only $100 per ton margin, betterment. So with a $200 per ton margin drop and $100 betterment through cost, you have to look for alternatives to bridge the gap of $100. So that's as far as margin is concerned. Overall, the cost reduction will come from many fronts. Number one being, we are already seeing an increase in availability of domestic coal, which used to be earlier 2% to 4%, has already gone up in Q4 to 26%. If I get all through the year, including the monsoon, I expect anywhere between 15% to 20% of our coal mix to be domestic coal. So that will be a biggest boost for reduction in cost. Second area of improvement, that is, we are looking at all the digital projects that we have done and investment that we have made. Now, the use of data science should help us in reducing the breakdowns and improving the utilization or reducing the consumables consumption in the plants. Altogether, performance improvement in the plants itself should give me a cost reduction.
Right. Mr. Misra, since you're saying that you could see margin contraction, can you quantify this for us? How much EBITDA per ton contraction can we see in the first half of FY24?
No, I will not guess on the margin how far it will go to. As I said, if I look at per ton basis, we should be able to breach out of $200 drop in margin. We should be able to breach about $150. Still, we will have a $50 drop in margin. And if we take rough cut number of 1 million ton metal production, 500,000 there, you can take overall about $25 to $50 loss over 500,000 tons. So that is expected.
So with respect to the Zinc International deal, we believe that as per the rules, Hindustan Zinc board has to get the deal endorsed by shareholders within a period of 3 months, which has already ended on 19th of April. What is the status of the deal and what is the under consideration?
No, there is no such time limit. It is our expectation that we should be able to get it done before the end of the financial year. So that's why we put a date of April. But it is not in the back burner, neither it is out of question, because if you look at all the news reports, everybody concludes that this is a good deal for Hindustan Zinc. Government of India's letter also, which is in the public domain, talks about exploring cashless option. So that means the deal is good. Deal is not being questioned. The mechanism, methodology, we are supposed to explore more methodology. So those are the points of discussion with all the shareholders. And we hope to convince or get everybody on board. And then maybe we should be able to take this into a logical conclusion.
So have you, in that case, presented any non-cash proposal for the government? If not, is it already in the works then?
No, we cannot work in timeline. It's all part of discussion, not specifically non-cash option, but all mechanisms in which this deal can happen. So let's see where we reach.
Okay, one of the concerns that analysts and investor community has is that the valuations were expensive when it comes to the Zinc International deal as well. Any clarification that you would like to give to the investors to allay those concerns?
Valuation is something, in the real world, you can always have two different opinions on a valuation. it is getting another Hindustan zinc kind of a mine of about 30 million ton metal reserve, and then expanding overnight to adding the capacity to Hindustan zinc. Now, what would be the right price for it? We have done the valuation through a registered valuer, and all that is there in the public domain. So I won't comment on that. According to me, it's a good investment for the access to amount of metal we are getting to.
Okay, so you still consider it to be a good deal, but we believe that Hindustan Zinc divestment has hit a roadblock due to this Zinc International deal itself. Any update on the government's divestment program? What is the timeline? Could you share anything fresh with us?
No, I will not comment on why and how the disinvestment, whether it has hit a roadblock, I don't know. The preparations were on, and I'm sure government is looking at the right time. You would appreciate that in the last few months of lot of issues in the stock market for various reasons. All of us know that. So for various reasons, the stock market was in such a position whether the stock market would have the capacity to absorb, even if you do, out of the total valuation, if it is 1/3 is about 6 billion, roughly about 48,000 crores. Even if you do 10% of that, which will be 5,000 crores, whether the market has the capacity to absorb, that's something I think the government and their advisors must be looking at the right time to hit the market.
Thank you for your time. Good to have you on board, giving us a view as to how things are moving at Hindustan Zinc. Just